Specifically, the most important thing we're waiting on as part of that disinfection is that approval from KDHE to approve our chlorination point, which would change our disinfection practice, which we believe will fix our current issues. And so, once KDHE approves that, we have 14 days to start that process. But they're also asking us to basically come up with a sampling plan, which John Brummer has already developed with the help of the EPA. And what that is just a sort of a tracking mechanism to see if that change in disinfection practice is actually working. And so we report this directly to the EPA, not to the KDHE, this first kind of prong approach. And EPA will say, yes, you know, you're doing what you need to do and your levels are down. And so that's kind of what you'll see there in number 24.
And are we set up and capable to do this within
We
the
are.
14-day period?
Yes, it's actually already in place. It's going to take maybe an hour or two to
Okay.
make that change.
But, I mean,
Yeah, we're ready to go.
we're ready to go if,
We just need that okay from KDHE. So we're ready, not only are we ready to go, but we have the plan ready to go in writing of how we will test, where we will test, how often we will test, the location of it's all, and that's what EPA wanted. They wanted that kind of in writing as far as our plan, and that's all ready to go as well. So as soon as KDHE approves, and we're all ready, even though they're giving us 14 days, we could do it, you know, the next.
okay, just so we don't have any
Yeah. Yeah.
crunches here. Oh my goodness,
Right.
now we got 14 days to solve this.
Will John be coming out when that happens?
We will actually be doing the testing and sending it to the lab, which is, and it, be one or two, I believe, I don't have that plan in front of me, but I believe it goes to 2 different labs even, so that we can get to see if there's any variables there. We're trying to get rid of as many of the variables, just to see the variables as far as what day, maybe 3 days in a row, to see if we're getting the same levels. And we'll do 3 days before we make the change, and then make the change maybe 3 days after, and then we can really see some data from that.
Okay, well, thanks for the heads up, Walt.
So we are assuming
Faces in the morning.
that that will fix our issue, and then this entire order would go away. What that means is then we can move towards our new or upgraded water plant on our own terms and our own timeline, which is really what we're trying to get to. If for some reason that change in disinfection practice doesn't go as planned, then that's when we proceed to, and we are over that 80 threshold that you'll see there in E subsection 1, or section E. That's really then when we get into the timeline of, we'll get our preliminary engineering report to KDHE, they'll approve it, and then we're down the road for that upgraded plant, and we'd be doing it under EPA's timeline. So we're pretty hopeful that once we finally get this approval for KDHE to change the practice, that will fix our current issue, and then we can proceed with John Brummer and our upgrades at our own. Worst case scenario is that doesn't happen, and we still go down that road, we just do it under EPA's order.
Is John pretty positive in the sense that this is going to?
The change in disinfection process?
Yes.
I mean, he's confident, you know, because based on the math and, you know, some testing we've done, it should work, but, you know, it's, you can't say 100%, but it feels like it should work. The big issue is, you know, it's going to take several quarters for that average to come down. So part of that testing plan is that the first, let's say we got the KDHE order June 1st, we could go ahead. So then 3 days before we would, or not 3 days, but for 3 days, right before we would switch that process, we would take tests every day. We'd probably send them to the lab in Salina as opposed to KDHE, where they probably sit on the counter for a month. And we'll have those baseline tests at the plant and at 2 outlying testing points, you know, 2 houses that are part of the testing protocol that we have currently. We'd make the switch, and then a couple days later, it's basically a timeline of how long that water takes to get through the plant. It would take 3 more days in a row of tests to kind of just see what the immediate effect is, okay? And the big issue is, you know, as you know, in summer and fall, some of the warm weathers, it's worse than others. And so But, you know, if it went from, let's say, 130 parts per million, whatever this number is, to 125, probably not looking really good. That's kind of what EPA wants to be able to see and look at. But if it's, instead of 130, it's 90, yeah, sure, it's not below 80, but of course, we're at that high point, we're showing that, hey, it's a, what, you know, a 60% decrease or whatever, it's a pretty significant percentage drop. And so we would do that the first 3 times, and then it would go to weekly for a month after that, and then it would go to monthly, and, you know, again, hoping the whole time we're kind of showing that progress, and then eventually go to quarterly, so that they just don't want to wait for just one random date every quarter, like myself and Scott, the EPA talked, you know, I'm sure there may have been, who knows, a statistical analysis that said, you know, just shoot, you know, doing it one quarter, you know, one random day in a 90-day stretch is good enough, but, you know, get you a pretty good representation, but we're just not certain of that, so we'd like to kind of test pretty heavily at first, and then go to that once a quarter, and hopefully that's showing a good scale now. It could take us, you know, 3-4 quarters to get into compliance, because it is running average, so.
And I think Jason and I, and of course John and Stuart, I mean, I think we feel comfortable with this, that we can work with this, and it provides us some ability to, for example, if it's the summer and we hit, instead of at 130, we're at 90, that's good for us in the summer, because realistically, over a year, that puts us under the 80. So that allows us to explain why that is, and explain that that is a big improvement. So we're comfortable with this order. Of course, being a consent order, it's got some scary language in it, but you know, I think we're on the right track, and that we can work with this. So EPA's been really good to work with.
So
Thank you, Katie.
by approving this, we're obligating the city to work towards building a power plant.
You're obligating the city for first step is to change the disinfection practice, and that will improve, and then if it doesn't, then it puts us on a timeline for an upgraded plan.
Yeah, I would not say new plan, I would say a permanent, more permanent fix. Whether that's just an upgrade or refurbishment or a new plan, you're kind of exploring that route.
So not necessarily, because if this particular change, short-term change that we're looking at works, then the EPA will step out, and then we will still work towards that, but not under their timeline. So, which would be preferable for us.
Thank you. So moved. Thank you very much. It's been moved by Councilman Grayball that we approve the letter to the EPA. Have a second. Second by Councilman Ollie. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the lots on the North Campus.
Yeah, so kind of that, we talked a little bit of a pricing structure last time, I got some more input, had some more discussion, so it's good stuff there. And so kind of what I did was kind of just threw out 3 different scenarios. I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I'm not good at that. The right page here, sorry. Not in here. Okay, so I messed that up. So there was 3 different price points, and so one of them would be just a net cost option, which I showed you last time. So that'd be basically, for lack of a better way to look at it, just 74 cents a square foot is kind of what that number was, okay?
Does that includes the street, the water, the sewer, and electricity?
The light poles, that's all that was ever put in there, was the metal poles.
And was there an ordinance saying that they would be required for their share of the electrical lines and stuff?
I don't know that. I don't know that one. Was there a Mandy or? No. I don't think
Just
so.
for the metal poles.
Yeah, it's the metal pole.
The only thing in the ordinance was streets, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Streets and light poles.
Yeah, streets and light poles.
Number 2 would be kind of based on average of already sold lots, so kind of what people have already purchased lots up for there, just to try to, and I threw out the lot purchases that Rex Roads had done. That was kind of an ideal situation where there was no streets, no light poles, I mean, so that it kind of really skewed it. So if you take the other 10 or 12 lots that we sold up there, it kind of got us to more about that 85 cents a square foot. And then the last one I kind of put in there was kind of a dollar a square foot, and again, that was kind of, obviously, we borrowed some dollars to put into the streets, and I think, Manny, was it to the tune of 300 and some thousand that we've assessed towards this in street costs. So we didn't even put the full borrowings, assessed to this project. So kind of take care of that and some maintenance upkeep and that kind of stuff, to offset some of those things. So, so that was kind of the thought process behind some of that. Whether it's supposed to include the electrical or not, I know that, there's kind of been some back and forth on that. I mean, like, for instance, the sewer stuff, water sewer, that was just kind of thrown at me the last couple of months. I stuck that on there, but I've never seen the electrical thing on there besides what was in the spreadsheet already, which was those metal poles.
Just the
So,
poles only.
yeah.
I believe we have an ordinance already that.
If it's in
describes
town.
Bringing electric to a property, it's covered by ordinance.
Yeah, and so what was that rule? If it's in town, they just didn't pay anything? Okay.
I don't know. But we have an ordinance covering if you need electrical service to your property, whether you're inside or whether you're outside the city limits, and it's different for each. We did that a year or two ago.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant like to this particular.
Well, I
Sorry, man.
wondered if it applied to this.
Yeah,
There is an ordinance for bringing electric to a property inside the city limits. And whether that's material, I think it's just materials, but I don't have that in front of me, so.
Well, it's my understanding inside the city limit, it is just materials.
And then outside is labor.
It's like labor and
yeah, I
materials.
think you're right.
I didn't know whether we had brought electricity in to these properties, whether that was to be assessed by ordinance or not.
That would just go.
I mean, it's kind of our own project, so it's like,
Right.
if it was
We
technically.
don't have nothing on the books saying so
For
about
this particular project.
this project.
Not that I'm aware of, but, I wasn't here in 2020 we did.
I think that stuff is done before there's ordinance, like the electrical, and then like down the lines, it's done before.
That ordinance is updated.
Ordinance is updated.
Right.
That's the wrong question.
So you're looking for a motion for which price structure to go on?
Yeah, I guess so, or maybe if I need to do more research on the electrical lines, I mean, like I said, I've had Ron approach me about it, that those are out there, but again, I have never seen that part, so I don't know what was supposed to, from the original, what we were supposed to be charging, because it was never gone to special, so we've been selling lots
Right.
without ever having that in there besides the metal poles, that's kind of what I went with. And so the kind of idea of going forward, at least get our water sewer, those are the funds that are struggling, at least our electric's kind of revenue producing, I mean, they can kind of handle it, but the ones that's why I added the water sewer at least to this, and that was never done before, so, I don't know. So yeah, I guess, I can either go back and do more research on that part of it, or we can prove one of these three structures, I guess.
My personal opinion is we need to price them to move, because once we move them, we're gonna have a lifetime taxpayer paying taxes, we'll pay it off. If we don't sell them, it stays on us, we're not gonna get anything back out of them until we do, so. And we're not a for-profit entity, we're here to grow the city, so I think pricing can move.
Well, and I think, let's see here, hold on. Sorry. Look at one thing here quick. Sorry, yeah, sidetracked here with one thing. There we go, that's what I did. Okay, sorry, here's the sheet. Did it work? Yeah, so I think that. I'm trying to remember, so I think the total revenue again, comparing apples to apples, we didn't, what we were already selling them and pricing them at before, as far as, whether we had stuff included or not. That, I think that, from what I remember, that 85 cents a square foot kind of covers us to be at least the same as it was before, as far as, if we would have kept the same thing, just sold it based on how they already, the 10 or so that we've already sold, we would gain about what the 85 cents a square foot was gonna get us. If my memory serves me, versus what, this model kind of spreading it across by square foot, would force a smoothing, if you will. That's what Yeah. Yeah, that was some, yeah. Correct.
Do we know what the cost is right now for man?
I know, he's got, some hours mowing every